Good morning. How are you? Hope you're doing good today. I'm just going to adjust my settings really quickly. Make sure that we're all able to see this live. There we go. Perfect. Okay. So this is so funny. Anyway, my name is Andrea Ferguson. Welcome to the Mindfulness Sessions for Entrepreneurs every day here on LinkedIn, 7 a.m. Central Time. Sometimes I am on video and not necessarily on LinkedIn audio event, but I have come to realize that change is good. And so I'm always doing audio events, and now I've started to do video, and I've got some good feedback. I know it's always different when you're able to interact in the moment through text, which is what you're able to do on video. It would be amazing if we were able to bring you up on stage as of also using video, but we haven't arrived there yet in LinkedIn world. So do appreciate you being here. Good morning, Wendy. Hello, Chantel. Good morning. Good to see you. Good afternoon, good evening if you are not actually on San Antonio, Texas time. Okay, so let's get into it. You've come here because you want to hear my thoughts on imposter syndrome. And at first I was like, gosh, I don't really know if imposter syndrome, I don't feel that every day, but got a request. And so that's what I'm here to talk about. And so just going into my points, the very first point is that everyone does experience it. So even though I haven't experienced it, I don't experience it on a day to day, I do remember experiencing it. And I was actually talking with my administrative assistant when we were talking about what are you going to talk about tomorrow? And I actually said, oh, imposter syndrome. And everyone experiences it. And she said, you experience it? And I was like, oh yeah, I've absolutely experienced it because, it's really just, it comes down to feeling like a fraud. At some point in time, you feel like a fraud. And that's actually a good thing because you wouldn't feel like a fraud if you weren't doing something that wasn't challenging or wasn't outside of your realm of comfort or something that got you in the spotlight. Or if you wouldn't feel that way if you weren't actually accomplishing something. And now I need to change my get away from the wiggly wisdom. I have an app called Endel. Make sure that you subscribe to my newsletter because I go into all of the nifty things that I do. There's an app that I use, and it's really cool. I have all of that information. Just click my face, click the link, go to my profile, check it out. So yeah, that's the first thing, is that everyone experiences it. It's so common. Even highly successful individuals experience it. And because I am able to use my video, I can show you a clip. Imposter syndrome, you're not alone, which is the very first thing I said. Everyone experiences it. It's a clip by the Stanford medicine, by Stanford. And so I'm going to share my screen. We can watch the clip together, which is a cool experience. And I'm all about growth mindset. So I love learning and using new technology and engaging with you all. So if you or someone has experienced imposter syndrome, then type in the chat yes, you or someone you know, while I pull up this video. See, make sure we get the right screen here. And hopefully, let's see, I'm going to share here. There we go. A bunch of yeses. Yeah, we have we or someone we know has experienced imposter syndrome. Yes, 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 yes. If you haven't experienced imposter syndrome, stick around a little bit longer. Live a little bit longer, have some more experiences, have some more successes and accomplishments. Isn't that the irony about it all? It's like you experience it because things are going really well and suddenly you're like, "Oh my gosh, am I worthy? Am I really this? Am I really that?" But yeah, so let me share my screen and we can watch this clip. Sharing new technology. Bear with me. Here we go. All right. So that clip ends with saying, struggling with imposter syndrome, you're not alone. Talk about it with someone you trust. But here's what I love. It also says you've worked hard to be where you are. So let's get into it. Harvard says that, okay, imposter syndrome, imposter phenomenon was first described by American clinical psychologists Pauline Clance and Suzanne Imes in 1978. Get this, as an internal experience of intellectual phoniness experienced by those with outstanding academic and professional achievements. And this is why I say you should be really happy if you have experienced imposter syndrome, because it means that you have a certain level of achievement, of a success, accolades, that you are probably a high performer, a high achiever, and you are experiencing this like intellectual phoniness, probably because you're surrounded by individuals that are also high achieving, high performing, who have done something incredible or amazing. It says, despite their numerous achievements and accolades, people experiencing the imposter phenomenon maintain a strong belief that they are not intelligent. In fact, they are convinced that they have fooled anyone who thinks otherwise. Those with imposter phenomenon discount their own efforts and talents when explaining their successes, instead citing situational factors of luck and timing or inadvertently fooling others about their intelligence. So I'm going to tell you one of the ways you can identify, which I think is really important when we're talking about overcoming imposter syndrome. I don't know if you remember a few LinkedIn audio events back where I talked about the importance of like how you build resilience. And part of that is like one, you have your vision and your goal. So you make that plain so that you know when you have arrived. Like, how do you know where you're going or when you're there if you don't know where you're going? So, first of all, you need to know where you're going. You need to have a very clear, plain vision. And then on the way to that, to achieving that goal, you shouldn't only celebrate your accomplishments after they've come. You need to celebrate every milestone on the way to that goal being accomplished. And the reason for that is that it builds resilience and emotional immunity, as I call it. Also, it allows you to be able to fight back against these feelings of imposter syndrome because you can actually say, no, this is empirical evidence. Like, I literally had to work this hard to get where I was. Give you an example. I had a goal of achieving when I was doing my master's degree, there are these in between kind of steps that you can take that include like finishing your course, deciding on a final project or dissertation that you want to write, and then obviously like actually achieving all of that. And every step of the way, I had mentors around me. This is the importance of having mentorship as well. Mentors around me that would encourage me and push me to do incredible, amazing things. And I would celebrate. So I remember going to Bali, it was about 10 years ago, as a celebration of my accomplishment that I even finished my dissertation. So that I got approval for it, even, you know? So I'm just going to pause and say, hello, welcome, Nivea. She says, good morning, everyone. New to this app and enjoying it very much. Well, welcome. Hope you come back tomorrow, 7 a.m. Central Time. We'll be here. We are having discussions, and it all revolves around mindfulness. So, and that's a really kind of a key thing. You need to be very mindful of where you are in your journey. And you also just need to understand that it's not linear. Nobody just skyrockets to success overnight, even if you blow up overnight. Okay, let's say you crack the code and you get like all the deals sealed, or if you're in the social space, you get 1 million followers. It's never overnight because you've been working every day for years, and some of you decades, to be able to have the knowledge, the insight, the skills to be able to put on whatever you put on, or say whatever you said, or share whatever you said, the stories that you've gotten, the experience that you've gained just by living and doing your work and becoming a skilled and really honing in your craft. And so that's not overnight, and you deserve that success. So that's why I love that it says, talk about it with someone you trust. You've worked hard to be where you are. Now, if you agree, you've worked hard to be where you are, type in hard worker, because you need to, as I said, every step of the way, be congratulating yourself, be celebrating yourself, be acknowledging your own accomplishments. There's steps along the way. Okay. So I'm going to pause, give you a moment to do that while I set up my next screen, because I want you to see that even physicians experience imposter syndrome. In fact, more than other US workers. Okay. So, in keeping with the Stanford medicine vibe, and this was written just a year ago. So it's a recent thing here. Going to share. Hard worker, hard worker. Yes. Also, good morning, Katie. Okay. So, here we go. So, from a survey of about 3,000 physicians nationwide, Stanford medicine researchers found that female doctors, no surprise there, were more likely than male doctors to indicate that they experienced emotional exhaustion. If you're a woman or you love a woman, or you know a woman. So everyone understands why that would be. So here's something unexpected. Some of the highest achieving workers in the world feel most unaccomplished. A new study by Stanford medicine researchers demonstrates that among US workers, physicians are more likely than others to feel the effects of imposter syndromes, a phenomenon in which someone feels inadequate despite a track record of competence. The study published online September, so this was last year, examines, et cetera, compared with the average worker. And I just realized I'm not actually sharing my screen. So let me do that. Sorry. So here's the study. Physicians experience imposter syndrome more often than other US workers. They go into it. The largest study of its kind. It's more prevalent in physicians than other US workers. And I work a lot in the healthcare space. I know a lot of doctors work really hard, and it is in their nature. A lot of their personalities are to just grind and grind and not stop. And honestly, nothing is good enough. And you kind of have to have that mentality when you're studying to be the best, understanding that not every Tom, Dick, and Harry will be able to get their degree and will be able to practice medicine. And you have vigorous training that's, a decade nearly. And so, compared with the average worker, physicians have been found in other studies to have higher levels of resilience, meaning, and social support, but often perpetually prioritize. And this is where I say we're not surprised that it's women, right? Prioritize other people's needs over their own. The study shows that physicians have an Achilles heel, no matter their accomplishments or level of achievement. Many physicians feel it's never good enough. The expectation they should go above and beyond human limitations, work excessive hours, and not seek help contributes to perceived personal shortcomings and deferral of their own needs. Then it goes into the survey, how many, so it's roughly 3,000 physicians who are between the ages of 29 and 65. So, pretty varied in that sense. And they're ranking these statements. What I want to go down to is, something that I don't necessarily, I have some mixed thoughts about it. Okay. But, okay. And so we know stronger feelings of imposter syndrome bring greater risk of occupational burnout, suicidal thoughts, professional unfulfillment. And we know that because there's a high rate of suicide as well, unfortunately, in the physician community. For physicians, this feels like you should always be doing more, putting work first. Where is it? And so they talk about okay, an honest look in the mirror. And here's where I have some beef. Here's where I have some maybe not, is there a way I can flip this where it is inverted? Maybe we do half a screen. You can kind of see, you can see enough. An honest look in the mirror. When physicians experience burnout, they cut their professional work hours and they do less clinical work. They have twice the rate of turnover, and their patients experience suffers. We all know what it's like. But here's the thing. Okay, so it says that the medical profession needs to take an honest look in the mirror about the great qualities of the profession, but also those that are less ideal, to give physicians a better foundation for the challenges that a career will bring. This is where I think this is just a little bit unfair. How about we actually solve the problem, the root of the problem, which is fundamentally, underlyingly, the traditional healthcare system that is set up to help no one really, except for the powers that be and big pharma, big insurance companies, and big hospitals that aren't, practicing medicine in a way where it's not tertiary or secondary, but primary, for example. So I don't know if I agree with the idea that physicians need to take a good look in the mirror and know what they signed up for, because they don't know what they signed up for. I have so many doctor clients and doctor friends that say, I did not get into this business. Well, first of all, I didn't know I was getting into a business. That's the first thing. So I encourage independent physicians to do their thing, to get out there, represent themselves. But it's hard, and you need visibility, and you have to know a bit about marketing. Hint, hint, reach out to us, because that's what we do. We help with that. So that's one less thing you need to worry about. But embracing the physician as a human rather than as simply a hero, that I do agree with. So there's a certain amount of vulnerability that you have when you are being mindful and when you're being honest to yourself. So I don't agree with the idea that you need to accept the system, because that's kind of how what it's saying in a way. Like a lot of the reasons why physicians get burnt out, on top of the fact that they never signed up to just see patients for 2 minutes and then spend 20 minutes doing all the paperwork or entering in this and that. But that aside, I think there is something that is to be embraced about our humanity, which is to know there's always going to be a better doctor. There's always going to be a better COO. Like I'm a COO, right? And so I didn't walk into Shanks as a COO, right? Before you run, you have to walk. Before you walk, you have to crawl. I was the first employee in Shanks, and there were levels, but I understand the organization. I've been a COO for nearly 2 years now, and I know that there are people that have been COOs for 20 years and 30 years. My senior, I mean, I met someone, yes, I won't get into it, but my goal when I like arrive or make it, if we ever do, in the sense that I don't believe any human ever really arrives, but once I am 30 years someone's senior, I will never rub it in their face as a first way to meet someone. Hi, I have been doing this for decades longer than you. I just don't feel like that helps anybody, adds value. And you could have been doing that wrong for 25 of those years, right? So who knows? But anyway, so yeah, imposter syndrome comes, like, for me, it's hard when you are in a room, in a space full of people that have been doing things for just way longer than you, or they know more than you. But I have realized it's an asset, right? Because in my company that I co-run with Shankar Ponsale, um, he's CEO, I'm COO, meaning I take care of the day-to-day operations. I remove the blockers. I do a lot of the front-facing client interactions and things like that, make sure that I see the vision, and then we get the team on it, right? And I make sure to coordinate between the two and make sure like that, and we have teams of teams, so I'm not necessarily in the weeds of the IT and tech department, but I do have this 30-foot thousand view or whatever, although I'm mostly heads down and Shankar is heads up because he's looking where we're going and I'm looking where we are and what I need to be doing to make sure that we get there. But the point is that there come these moments where it's just like, whoa, like here I am, like I don't know how to reprovision this computer. Like, well, of course I don't, because I'm not in the IT tech department, but I do know that I possess a certain set of skills that'll enable me to be able to lead our team, to lead our company. And so when I was talking to my admin, it was shocking, right? Because she's like, "You experience um, imposter syndrome?" And I'm like, "Yes, because we employ people that know more than I do, that are experts in that particular field or whatever it is that they're doing." But that's a good thing. And also, it says something when you're able to lead a team, because even if you have smarter people on your team or people that know more than you about this thing or that thing, which you should have people on your team that know more than you. That's actually what makes you a really good leader too, is in figuring out all of the components. Okay, now how can we synchronize this, synthesize it, put it together? Because not everyone has the capacity to lead. Not everyone has the will to lead. And not everybody um, that does have those two things does it well. So there's a number of reasons why I pat myself on the back and I say, wow, we've pulled off some incredible things. We've sealed some really good deals, like hundreds of thousands of dollars of revenue that I'm responsible for because I'm making sure that this project gets accomplished, that this client has what they need. And ongoing, not one off things, taking care of multiple companies in itself is not always the easiest things. So, yes. So I want you to congratulate yourself about whatever your equivalent of that is, because you have a unique set of gifts. You have a unique set of skills. There is a unique thing that you are bringing to the world, to the universe, to your audience, to your clients, to everybody that you come in contact with, that you do on the day to day, and you keep doing it. You've survived 100% of your worst days. But yeah, recognize that everyone experiences it when it comes to imposter syndrome. Recognize the feelings. Think about it. Be aware. Like, uh-oh, I'm starting to feel like I don't belong. That may be one of the first signs. And I'm telling you, me being in a room, that I really experienced imposter syndrome in the first year. Like in the first, yes, go ahead, congratulate yourself. Like, congratulations to me. Type that in the chat. You need to hear that and see that from yourself. Congratulations to me. Okay. Also, Katie is hilarious. I'm a follower and I'm okay with it. I know, right? Like that's a good thing. Also, knowing what you're really good at. Um, but yeah, so recognize the feeling. So I recognized when I was in a room full of people that were talking about their companies. And so we made, and it's a part of accountability. We made $4 million this year. And I'm like, that's a lot of money, right? And they keep talking. And for my second company, we did this, and then the third. And I'm like, oh my gosh, should I be in this room? Right? These are numbers that are unfathomable to me. Unfathomable. I mean, my mother was a small business owner, but she wasn't talking about $4 million a year that she made in her second company and third. And I just had never been around these big numbers. And sometimes, and that's a good thing though, because you have to recognize how you feel. So understand that you experience it. You're not the only one. Recognize how you feel. Talk about it. And even if it's talking to yourself, journaling, being honest, taking time during meditation, taking time doing your walks, walk yourself through why you feel the way that you do. And then reframe failure. Sometimes that's the thing too, when things don't go wrong. You saw in the video how the worker was painting himself, or it would chip and it'd be a different color and he'd put on another paint and things like that, right? And sometimes that happens when things go wrong and you feel like a little bit exposed. But I'm here to tell you that you can reframe that failure, because now, guess what? The next time that comes along, the challenge won't be as great and you'll have some emotional immunity built up. So you'll be able to deal with it. And then what's better is when you find out everybody's actually struggling with it. Everybody might be struggling with emotional regulation to some degree, not blowing up at your spouse or your kids. Everybody might be struggling with thinking about how this is going to work. Or like during COVID, we all had the same struggles, I'm telling you. But reframe failure when things don't go wrong. View that mistake or the thing that didn't go right as an opportunity for growth. View it as an opportunity for growth, not a negative reflection of yourself or your own ability. So don't internalize it. Do not internalize the things that don't go wrong. Learn to observe it, but non-judgmentally, and just let it pass, right? Focus on your achievements. This is what I was saying. Remind yourself of your accomplishments and your abilities regularly. Keep a record and seek positive feedback. Sometimes I will tell you, I need a hand. Just tell me all the things that went right. I must drive Shanae and Shankar nuts sometimes because I'm asking for that positive feedback, but I need that. I need to know. And then I revisit some of those things. And of course, affirmations, which I have been doing a terrible job at these days, but that's okay. I recognize that it's just going well because I'm really appreciating the conversation that I'm getting from you guys. Let me know what you want to talk about tomorrow or another time. Have you ever watched a movie where every hero hypes himself or herself before a big scene or before doing something crazy? I never noticed it before, but now I pay attention to the little details. And that's called priming, Nadia. So, absolutely. And I will prime myself too. I happen to do it listening to Beyonce music because I don't know, it just works. Or music of the like, where, it's talking about like, I woke up like this, flawless, or I'm a diva, and all of this stuff. Because you have to tap into a certain persona, even within yourself sometimes, or have an alter ego. That works too if you want to be Sasha Fierce, but I digress. And I need to keep track of your time. So focus on your accomplishments, provide that positive feedback, tell yourself that you are amazing because you are, that you deserve every accomplishment and accolade, that you deserve to be where you are. And it's really important. And it doesn't matter if you're a physician, it doesn't matter if you are not a physician, if you're a teacher, if you're a janitor, if you are a consultant, if you are whatever it is that you do, you need to be proud of your accomplishment. And then last, separate the feeling from fact, but we already talked about that. So I am going to close you out with a few affirmations. And If you have enjoyed today, please let me know. Yes, I enjoyed it. And then also, if you want to have a specific conversation happen tomorrow, please do let me know that in the chat. I'm going to focus on some meditation music really quickly and then let you go on about your day. Have you been enjoying these videos? I know some people are saying, I love that I'm able to view the playback in real time. I do miss audio events, though. There's something very special about that. So I think we'll probably have to go back to that some at some point. But let me just get on this meditation here. All right. So thank you for being here. Thank you for coming. I do want to close out with just a few affirmations and reminding us that you deserve every praise for every accomplishment that you've ever done. Okay, so just close your eyes, take a deep breath in and out, feeling a sense of pride and accomplishment, thinking of all of the things that you have ever done, every award that you've received. How did that feel? What did that feel like? What did that look like? Get that image in your mind. Think about a time when you were recognized for your achievements. That's the thing. There's so many things to be proud of that you have done in your lifetime up till now. There's so many things that you have done, so many challenges you've overcome. Overcoming imposter syndrome is reminding yourself you're a badass. So repeat after me. I am worthy. I take pride in every accomplishment. I am proud of my journey. I reframe failure as success. Every day, I am striving to be the best me possible. And I am proud of who I am. I am proud of who I am becoming. I deserve a seat at the table. I love who I am at this very moment. Take another deep breath and out as long as you can. Gently bring yourself back to the present right now and give yourself a big congratulations for all that you have overcome in your life. You overcome 100% of your worst days. Make today a really good one. Very proud of myself for not having given up. I can't remember. I don't think I have missed a single weekday, actually, of doing an event, an audio event or a live event. I'm very proud of that because I wanted to show up for you and just share what I know. So thank you. I appreciate you for listening to me and allowing me to share what I know. And I encourage you to write in the comments anything that you want, any feedback. Tell me what you want to hear tomorrow. And I will see you then. Until then, take care and have a mindful day. Bye-bye.